So last week there was a fragrance that was released on the same exact day that it was announced in my Macy's. And as you guys know, if you didn't already see my channel, it was YSL Y ELIXIR, or ELIXIR, whatever you want to call it. The brand new YSL Y. And I got a decant of it from my nearest Macy's, and I have now wore through it 4 times right before I went on vacation. So I figured I would leave you guys with the full review version of it. I am picking up the full bottle of it as soon as it comes on News Parfums, which usually takes about 2 weeks for the new releases to get on there. It's going to be about $100, $110. Once it is, I'll post it on my community tab, but I am picking up the fragrance. But today we're going to be doing my full review, letting you guys know all of the note breakdown, what I thought about it after that first opening hour, all that good stuff. So YSL Y ELIXIR full review. So without further ado, let's get it. What's good, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka FragranceDoud. Thank you guys for joining me for yet another full review of a brand new release designer fragrance. So this year I'm being a little bit more cautious about my spending when it comes to designer fragrances, because last year I picked up 34 of the 44 releases that came out as far as full bottles. And a lot of them I ended up selling because I wasn't a big fan of. And with the prices going up crazy, and I'm trying to get more into niche this year. This year it came out and I was just at the mall, and YSL Y ELIXIR, which is what we're talking about today, I ended up seeing it at my Macy's on the same day that it was announced on iFragrance. So that was pretty great. Especially for the channel, but as far as a fragrance enthusiast, it was just great. Before we get into the video, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe if you like my content. Comment below, let me know what you think about this fragrance, if you've tried it or if you're interested to try it. If you're one of those people that is pissed about reviewing decants, then get the hell out of here, because I honestly don't care. I'm doing that because I'm picking up a bottle for half price, and if you're somebody that's pissed that somebody else is trying out a fragrance and not buying it right off the bat because they want to save themselves half the price in 2 weeks, then I don't want you at my channel, to be fair. With that said, we're talking about, again, full review of YSL Y ELIXIR. Decant is basically spent, so I'm not going to really talk about that. I am wearing it today, but I don't really need to know anything else about it. I'm going to give you the note breakdown, which is kind of vague, but just so you guys can follow along. The top notes are lavender, mid note is geranium, and the base notes are frankincense and oud. The note breakdown does not spell out what this fragrance is all about. It doesn't. So when you first spray on YSL Y ELIXIR, I told you guys in my first impressions on my live, my semi-first impressions after fully wearing on my full video, this fragrance is not heavy woods. It is not super rich or thick or dense. It's also not a super heavy, long-lasting, not long-lasting, heavy projecting fragrance. It's not. I mean, for the first hour and a half it is, but it's not. This fragrance is more gonna be a soapy dominated fragrance, leaning into that YSL Y DNA. So when you first spray it on, you immediately get YSL Y EDP kind of minus the apple. There is almost like a slight fruity tone in there, and the first time I sprayed it on, I thought it was the apple, but I don't think it is. It might be. I mean, it's kind of just really well blended, but underneath this very heavy geranium, lavender, ginger soap bomb. I mean, this is a slightly richer, slightly darker take on the YSL Y DNA. So just like with YSL Y Le Parfum, you can't consider that a dark or deep fragrance. It's just a slightly darker, slightly deeper version of the line. This one's slightly darker and deeper than all the rest of the ones. It's smoother, but it also is the first fragrance in this line to legit have a soap bomb. So if you're one of those people that doesn't like heavy, soapy, kind of fougere-ish style fragrances, unless you're really like obsessed with the YSL Y line, you might not like this fragrance. With that said, I think that the opening for me is like an 8. It's nothing crazy. It still has this like, but as far as the YSL DNA, I wasn't a huge fan of the EDP, and the opening reminds me of that, just like very, very soapy. And for the first hour and a half or so, that's what this fragrance is. It's going to be ginger, lavender, and geranium dominated, with a little bit of like a spicy, richer undertone that has a slight smoky sweetness underneath there. But there's no heavy ouds, there's no heavy woods, and that never really comes in. You can never actually tell in this fragrance that there's oud in this fragrance because it just doesn't come in. I'm not sure why that they put that in a breakdown. Maybe that was just a marketing ploy for fragrance community. I honestly have no idea. But once you do get to the dry down, once you get about, I would say, an hour and a half to be safe into this fragrance, that soap bomb, I should say, is kind of starts to dissipate, and you start to get a little bit closer to the YSL Le Parfum. That is where this fragrance really hits its stride. You start to realize that it's starting to switch to the Le Parfum. As far as like an hour or so, you can start to tell it's starting to get more into that warmer, slightly tonka, amber woodish. That's what it kind of smells like. And like I said, you never get this like dark and deep oud. You get a almost like amber woody smell to it, which is what you get from the original, or from the Le Parfum, mixed together with a little bit of sweetness. While this one does add in a slight smoked nuance, like I said, it's from that frankincense that just comes in and provides a little bit of smokiness. But if you were coming into the fragrance thinking this again was going to be richer, heavy, spicy, oudy, Middle Eastern, it's not going to be that. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of happy about that, because this one, it is different enough from the rest of the Ys in the line where you can still say this is definitely worth a pickup, and I'm definitely buying the fragrance. I think it's a great addition to the line. With that said, it's still going to have similarities that are reminiscent to the Le Parfum and the Eau de Parfum. It's just overall, I still think that I do like the Le Parfum better. My wife agrees with me, and I think that my daughter tried this out as well whenever I was wearing it last week, and she said it was good. But I know she likes the Le Parfum, and that one, every time I wear it, she's like, "What are you wearing?" And I'm like, "Duh, it's like your favorite." But YSL Le Parfum is still my favorite in the line. As far as the ELIXIR, I think that the fragrance is super smooth. It's soapy. That's the only thing I could keep saying, is that it is YSL Y with a little bit of a darker and richer vibe to the fragrance. A crap ton of this soapy geranium, ginger, lavender mixture. And it's almost like a shower gel. It's almost like if you took YSL Y, just a little bit darker, and you mix it together with like a blue shower gel that you put on top that has a little bit of this spicy ambery backtone. As you get to the dry down and it's almost like an amber woody, slightly spicy mixed with tonka. That's what the fragrance kind of reminds me of, and it doesn't change after that. That soapy nuance kind of just becomes more of an undertoned player, like 10% of the fragrance providing a base soapy nuance. But over top of that, once you get to about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, the soapiness kind of goes to the background, and you're left with kind of like I said, almost like YSL Le Parfum mixed together with a slight soapy nuance and a little bit of this incense. That's what the fragrance is for the rest of it, and it's a little bit smoother and a little bit darker and richer. That is what the fragrance is in a nutshell, and I would give the opening, again, like an 8, but the dry down for me is like an 8.5 to a 9. I think the dry down's great, but I think that the Le Parfum overall is still the better version of the fragrance. Let me know what you guys think. I'm interested to know, and when I get back from vacation, once I buy this bottle, I can't wait to test the Le Parfum against it and like do it for months and months on end, so that I can kind of come back and do a full review after doing that, maybe like a comparison versus video. Let me know if you're interested in that. I'll also do a new line breakdown, obviously, now that the line has changed. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. As far as the seasons, this is going to be an any season fragrance, obviously. It's a top 3 blue line, and so it's going to be signature worthy. This is going to be more of a night out style fragrance, as most elixirs are. But as far as their performance is concerned, again, first hour and a half is going to be pretty heavy. It's going to be elixir status, not like Sauvage Elixir, but it's getting close to that for like an hour and a half. I would say like maybe like YSL EDP with a little punch to it. After that, it kind of just becomes a parfum, which is what this fragrance is. It's a parfum, not an elixir. Is just a fad, but it's a parfum. And so as you get about an hour and a half into the fragrance to where it's almost like that YSL YLA parfum, it's kind of on par with YSL YLA parfum, where it's kind of sitting closer to the skin. This one's going to last, though, like 10 plus hours. I haven't worn it past 10 hours outside of on a hoodie, which it was on my hoodie 2 to 3 days later. So as far as lasting, it lasts, but after 2 hours, it's not going to be an elixir style pushing out, filling up a room like Sauvage Elixir. It's going to fill up a room for 10 hours. This one is going to fill up a room for probably, I don't know, 2 hours, and then kind of just after that, it just sits closer to the skin. I would say it's more of a personal bubble for about 4 to 5 hours after that, and then it comes and it's a skin scent after that. But that's what a parfum does. And so if you're looking for something darker, oudy, spicy, stuff like that, that's not this. It's kind of just a soapier version of the line, a little bit darker and richer. And then you get that kind of YSL YLA parfum mixture in the dry down. Again, let me know what you guys think. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back with another one. Peace out.